Game number one, everybody. Another best of 5 Division S action here today, and we have Wind and Rain, formerly known as Team Cheese, going up against Go Next, who came into Division S after coming through. Pulled out, they disbanded before the season started. Wind and Rain, of course, with Mucker, and they had a bit of a rough start, to be honest with you. Got picked up by an Orc and are now playing here, but they didn't quite have the start that they expected originally after Schwimpy and Gia left to play in Gold League in Taiwan for a couple of months. They actually did extremely well, but then they kind of fell off a little bit again. So it was actually really weird, and they are currently in the kind of struggle mode that they have there. But we're starting things off with Volskaya Foundry, and we have, again, Tracer banned out right away together with the Nubarak. Also, we're seeing Hanzo banned, and that means that either Maiev or Zeratul are going to make it through the draft. Now, normally when we're talking about Division S, those two are it's pretty much like 90-95% of the games banned out right away, usually by the second pick team. But this time, at least one of them will going to make it through, so we could see a Zeratul setup with Diablo or Jaina here in Volskaya. I guess Maiev is going to be banned. Yep, that's indeed the case. And now just the question, Zeratul first pick, or how do you play it? If Go Next doesn't pick Zeratul first, then they better pick Jaina, or they might run up against that combo completely if Wind and Rain just says, okay, we're going to go straight for that. But yeah, already an interesting start to this. That Zeratul is going to make it into the match. Don't see that all too often on this level here with Division S. And they pick Tyrande. They go for Tyrande first, so that allows us to go for a Zeratul combo on the side of Wind and Rain. And they could literally just pick Zeratul and Jaina, which might trigger a Tyrael pick on the side of Go Next. If not, then it could still be banned out. I mean, that's one of the ways how you can really negate the entire combo with the Void Prison and the Ring of Frost, that you're just simply trying to get that out and play around that. Sanctification, that is, of course, to negate that. Yeah, but Mephisto instead, and Malfurion. Okay, completely different approach here today. Mephisto played by Make a lot, and actually on Volskaya Foundry, that hero has been banned against him several times. It's still a bit nuts to me that we don't have Zeratul picked yet. Usually when we're looking at any of these games in the drafts and Zeratul isn't banned out immediately, it's an insta first pick. And now we don't even see him in the first rotation at all. There's the Jaina setup, Imperius also coming in. Main tank, offlaner, we'll see. These days, mostly as the main tank being played, but as we said before, he can play in both roles, and there's the Zeratul ban. Making sure that Jaina can't combo with him. Yeah, but prioritizing Mephisto here. So Make, definitely eager to show his Mephisto skills again. Garrosh gets banned out against Berghold. I mean, Berghold usually plays Garrosh, Tyrael, and Johanna. Those are the 3 heroes that he focuses on the most. Doesn't mean that he can't play any of the others, but those are definitely the ones that he's most comfortable with, and it really shows. I mean, that oftentimes makes the difference for them. So they could play around that again here. And, well, we have Thrall for Max Passion first of all, and we see Jimmy. So pretty nice setup here. Thrall for damage at the top. Would expect Echo of Elements on level 1. He's not going to be part of the 4-man. There's a chance that he goes into the Crash Lightning, but traditionally you would rather do that if you're going with the 3 melee setup and have someone else rocking the solo lane at the beginning. Volskaya Foundry and Battlefield of Eternity remain 2 of the big maps that can be played with Crash Lightning. And the final 2 picks on the side of Go Next, as we're having them picking Junkrat and Arthurs. Alright, side lane Arthurs here by Toulouse. And now last but not least, the pick for Berghold, the frontliner. Again, would expect Tyrael or Johanna to be taken by him. And there we go, Tyrael claimed by Berghold. Yeah, and we're ready. Game number 1, best of 5 series, Division S, as we're heading into it. Wind and Rain, formerly known as Team Cheese, going up against Go Next. Let's jump into map number 1. Game number 1, Wind and Rain against Go Next on good old Volskaya Foundry. And now on the blue team, Make with Mephisto, Berghold on Tyrael, we have Skok on Reyna, Max Passion on Thrall, and Galnegunar for Wind and Rain is playing on Malfurion. In the meantime, towards the right side of the map, we are seeing Go Next. They're starting here with Wit on Imperius. We have Kelvin on Jaina, Skynox on Tyrande. Servas on Junkrat, and Taloof is playing Arthurs. So this setup that we have from the red team is actually going to be quite dangerous, simply because you have now multiple stuns that Tyrande can capitalize on. Jaina too. We have Imperius with a lunge and the lockdown. We have Arthurs with a howling blast, and then on top of that, obviously, we have the dude damage dealers here right now. And you could also play with Junkrat and simply try and displace a hero at the beginning of the game, just push them into towers, for example, and take them out with that. And well, with that setup, we're heading straight into the game and see if GoNext can pull that off, or if Wind and Rain is going to be able to take the first map here. They have Marke again on Mephisto, and that alone was already pretty awesome. And Max Passion actually going for Crash Lightning here. Okay, so we have Crash Lightning taken. As I said during the draft, this is still one of the maps where you can play with the talent, where you can get actual value out of it. So curious to see how many stacks he's gonna get with this setup. And yeah, it could be pretty nasty for the opponent's team if he ever is able to get the stacks completed here. Would still expect him, of course, to be on that solo lane, so while he's playing there, he won't get too many stacks, but at least during the objective itself, he should get some easy stacks coming here. Alright, with that said, we're already seeing Arthurs with a Howling Blast attempt, or soon. Yeah, they're trying to go in here. Marke on Mephisto. Marke really seems to be enjoying Mephisto a lot lately. I mean, this is the hero that he plays pretty much every single game these days, whenever we're seeing him here in Division S. Now teams are starting to dance around the beacon again. That's obviously soon going to spawn too, but first of all, those turrets are going to become important around the 1 minute mark. That's where both of the teams usually start to immediately try and take those camps down, and then it comes to a fight over the healing beacon. So that's kind of what we expect to see. As long as Thrall can rotate, he is going to try and get these stacks, because we have Reyna taking over bot lane duty against Arthurs, and Taloof has now to go up against a ranged hero, which is always a bit of a nuisance, and actually start switching it out with Junkrat, as both of the teams are starting to grab their turrets here. 2 stacks, by the way, in the meantime, for the Crash Lightning on Thrall. Nothing crazy just yet, but again, if he can stack that during the objective, then he will get a ton of poke out, and eventually Tyrande is going to have some trouble healing all of that out. When it comes to builds, the level 1 here with the Burn the Impure still taken for Imperius. I feel like the Imperius build has pretty much been completely established. I mean, there's a few adjustments if you're playing on the side lane maybe, but outside of that, it's just one build thus far. Another stack for Thrall as they're trying to go in. Healing beacon time once again. Marke needs to be careful. Arthur's trying to walk him down, but a great route from Malfurion is coming in, and they're starting to make the play here. Trying to go straight in it. Turret's already on the ground too for both teams, and Imperius is low. He's not the only one. Nearly the kill. Mephisto actually dies as outside of Imperius, everybody else gets away from the red team. That was a close call to say the least. I mean, Mephisto nearly got a double kill against Jaina and against Tyrande here in the back, but it's a 1-for-1 trade at the end of the day, with still 1 turret in the hands of Max Passion though. And when it comes to the healing beacon, I actually don't even know who grabbed that. Was that dropped during the fight? Nope. Reyna has it. Reyna took the beacon and claimed that, so nicely done. 4 stacks by now on the Crash Lightning that we're having for him, and of course with the he's a little bit far out. Jimmy, mistakes were made. Yeah, that is Jimmy down. He at least dropped the healing beacon. That was actually important. That was actually really important that they are able to drop that and that they don't lose that item here again. Okay, time to shine now, up here in the middle. This is the paradise for Thrall. Keep everybody together, get a couple of stacks in, just like off cooldown. Try and get those. Nice split that we just saw from GoNext on the right side to make sure that he doesn't acquire another one. But yeah, now that everybody is starting to meet up in those corners, he's going to get a lot more value out of that talent. Can move in again. It's another stack in, sitting at 7 already. Great Blizzard on the other hand, but Imperius pays the price as he goes in a bit too deep and falls. Another connect by Max Passion. Unfortunately for him, it bounced straight into the minions. It's not quite where he wants to have it. With Imperius down. Oh, nice! Got another stack and also interrupted the Hearth back from Kelvin. Great for them. Means that mana is a bit low, and of course there's more time won. Having in terms of talents, now level 7 already on the side of Wind and Rain. And they're obviously starting to take the lead here on the progress. But We have the turrets back up on the map. Muck is already looking at it, needs a little bit of help for it. Should see the same move happening on the side of the red team, but so far doesn't happen. Jaina is now making the way over. So this is the main reason why you're taking those camps super early, around the 1 minute mark when they spawn, so that you have the camp up again as the objective is being fought over, and you can grab an additional item that can help you in that time. So a pretty important move on the map when it comes to map mechanics. Muck is in trouble here, and oh yeah, he gets wrecked. Mephisto down, and they might get another kill, but Berghult is able to get away here. But that's that stun setup that we've been talking about so much earlier already. If you get anybody locked down through Imperius, Arthurs, or Tyrande, then Jaina just gets the damage out. And that's exactly what we just saw happen to Mephisto. Him eliminated. Thrall has now 11 stacks. We are 5 minutes in, and he's already sitting at 11. Looking pretty good with this. So yeah, very, very strong with that setup. Starting to come in again here. Turrets being dropped from both sides. Mako, of course, engaging once more. 99% for the red team. Go next with a good chance here. They're going for Jimmy, but they can't get the kill, and Toulouf might be a little bit too deep. He's not the only one. Down go Junkrat and Jaina, and they get Tyrande and Imperius too. Wind and Rain absolutely demolishing the red team in that last fight. And that is, of course, now pretty much game over for the first Protector. That thing is going to end up in the hands of Wind and Rain, no doubt about it. 13 stacks for Thrall, who at this point is sitting at 13,000 HP. Hero damage. 13,000 HP, that would be pretty nice. I mean, we had Stitches nearly at 10,000 HP once with Hungry for More as the talent on level 1. I think that was in Tomb of the Spider Queen when Stork for Team Russia played the hero. But 13,000 is a little bit far out. You would have to play an absolute monster game that goes into 30-35 minutes in order to get that completed. But as it stands, the damage output is actually not too bad either. Right now, heroic abilities are also in play. Half a level away for Go Next. So things are dangerous for them. Protector moving top side to drop the fountain and prepare for objective number 2. All important here to make that play at least, and that's exactly what they're doing. Wit is currently hoping that he can catch someone off guard here and move in from the side to prepare a kill opportunity for the rest of the team. Doesn't quite work out. They're still baiting them though. And they're still holding on to the fort for a little bit longer, but Tyrande gets away. It's a close call. As long as he survives, they're fine. And there comes the level 10 now, and we have actually Wrath taken for Wit. So Imperius turns into a delivery boy. And that's going to show that he is able to deliver those kills into the backline. There comes the first attempt. We get a quick stun set up, and they're moving in with Arthurs from the side too, flanking. And yep, there we go. That is it. Uber Eats just delivered. Mephisto into the backline. And delivery boy Wit gets 5 stars for his efforts. Well done here. Imperius with his little side job already sniffed out right away here. It works secretly for both mates, as we can just see. So now we have actually 4 kills against 6. The experience isn't really looking too bad. I love the rotation towards the camp immediately. You have the advantage on the map for a few seconds because you took down a hero, so they're starting to invade camps and try and get themselves a bit of an item advantage. They already lost, well, the healing beacon a bit earlier, but if they can at least counter with a double turret, hey, take what you can get, right? 16 stacks for Thrall. It's gonna get a little bit dicey once that he's able to get the full poke out. Still wondering about the level 16 talent, would assume Thunderstorm, but we've seen a lot of Alpha Wolf taken recently, and against Arthurs it would definitely help you too. So now down here in the mid lane, we're still waiting for an opportunity of them maybe jumping in again, and they're looking at Jimmy again. And they might actually get him. They're waiting, pushing him back in, and that's a kill opportunity right there, and there's no way for him to get out. Skork again caught on the map, and that's another dead Reyna. Jimmy down, 5 kills against 6, experience nearly dead even. That is going to lead us into an even talent fight here up at the top. Oh yeah, that could have nearly been another kill opportunity for them around Thrall. Not quite how it worked out. 18 stacks, by the way, for Thrall, the War Chief himself. Green Jesus is doing his thing here. But yeah, looking pretty solid with this. Let's have another look at the damage output. Look at that, Thrall is already taking over. Top damage in the game. Now the map is good for Crash Lightning. And he showcases that again. Battlefield of Eternity and this one here in particular, Volskaya Foundry, those two are the best maps for that talent. You don't get a whole lot out of it if you're playing on other maps, but if you can stack here, that's usually the dream. Already getting even more poke damage in as they're trying to make the play for the beacon. Once again, 13 talents on both sides are now, of course, ready too. And they're starting to go in again. Market with the mass damage. Here comes Wrath as they're trying to go into the backline. Riptire delivery. Nicely done. Another 5-star rating for Imperius, as he is delivering another kill into the hands of his team. This time the one against Berghold. Sanctification wasn't even used, didn't have a chance, got immediately locked down there. Nicely done. And going next is really applying the pressure right now. And seeing on the right side, the Stag Kings still continue. There's the Wolf connect with Arthas, but they can't get the kill out of this. They're buying a bit of time and pushing everybody off the healing beacon position though, which is actually quite important. So the kill goes to go next, but they're not able to get the healing beacon. And that is, from the perspective of Wind and Rain, definitely a good outcome here, considering the loss of Imperius. The loss of Tyrael. So once again, they're dancing around it here, slowly and steadily, baiting it in. Obviously, there's also the collapse now onto the top. They're trying to get a kill here, but Marke isn't there anymore. And here's a free healing beacon. Yep. Double healing beacon now for them. Actually, I'm lying. They only have... Do they have 2? Jimmy, did he drop his? Yeah, of course, he got killed at the bottom. So yeah, so now they are having still 1. Item advantage, on the other hand, still goes over to go next. I mean, they have 2 turrets still, looking solid. But at the same time, we still need to see what happens around Thrall, because he's sitting at 19 stacks now. And he's currently looking to complete that quest as soon as he can and get that insane damage out. Gets a bit of damage in, okay. Nicely done here with an HSQ already, as Max Passion was in trouble. They're trying to make the play here. Jimmy is firing away in the meantime against Wid on his Imperius, and he's already starting to get low. We still have Wrath, though. Could use that again to deliver another kill into the backline. Stun setup comes in. Here comes the Sundering, the Wolf with a double connect. And they're trying to get the setup, spreading the ulti on Mephisto. And can they get the kill here? Sanctification already being used. They're trying to go in deep for the kills. A lot of cooldowns burned, pretty much everything actually. But they are not able to get the kill just yet. Servus is low. They don't have a fountain here anymore, so they have to go a little bit deeper to top off hit points and mana. And in the meantime, the fort at the top lane is taken out. Wind and Rain with a bit of momentum in the fight, but not able to get a kill yet. We'll get to the bottom on the other hand, or in the mid lane at least. Taluf is still fighting it out. We're having the re-engage happening. Attempt to go for Max Passion. That didn't turn out well. In comes the lunge. But they're still trying to connect here. 23 stacks by now on Thrall. He is murdering it with the damage at this point. He can just poke them down the entire day. He's getting another stack in. More damage even by him. Look how low they are already. The poke is definitely working out here. Wit is low. So is Jaina. And here comes Mephisto. The kill against Wit. The first one. It's a triple baby as they're going for the quad even. The Protector's already on the ground. They're trying to make the play for Arthas. Even the Sundering comes in, and that is the end of Arthas. 25 stacks now for Thrall. Level 16 in their hands as well. And Thrall is sitting at 41,000 damage right now. A lot of it is obviously the poke damage that comes from the Crash Lightning. But still, it helps to soften those targets. That's exactly what he did earlier. And they're not even wasting time going down to the bot lane here. They're actually moving straight in for the keep itself. And so they should. They have not only 3 kills that they just got, they at the same time have a talent advantage. And they have so much momentum here on the map, so that's the only decision to really make here. The question is simply where they're going next. It seems like they're trying to go into the middle, take that down to drop another fort, and maybe rotate down to take the fountain down. But yeah, this is just an execution of the mid lane that we're seeing here. An attempt to make the play for Thrall, but not working out yet. Hey, they are taking the lead now. More than a level ahead at this point. Nicely done. Really nicely done, by the way. And 26 stacks for Thrall. Again, he's murdering it. He's absolutely murdering it. And here comes also the Thunderstorm on 16, so that's going to make matters even worse around the Chain Lightning from Thrall. The defense attempt at the bot lane, as 16 is just so close now for go next, but that fountain is still going to fall, and that's the big objective, of course, for Wind and Rain right now. Take the fountain down, take the sustain away, and try and see if you can maybe even get the fort itself. Fantastic position in the game now for them. That last Protector, winning it, definitely tipped the scales in their favor once more. Let's Go Next was definitely fighting back hard. I mean, these guys got kill after kill after kill. They played really well around that combo, and especially with that, the Font was able to deliver several kills into the hands of his team thanks to his heroic ability. Arthas is still hesitating on the level 16 choice, by the way, because all of them are just starting to YOLO straight into the spot here at the top. This is pretty much a move that has to work. If they want to really fight here, they have to make it count. And Make is in a world of pain. Like, he's full in the middle here now, but he might just be able to get the kills before they can do anything about it. Tyranda's already down, and yep, that ult comes just a bit too late. Imperius is eliminated, and Skork wants to go for the triple kill, and they get it too. Tyrael falls, but the explosion is... The double hit by Tyrael. He gets all eliminated. 5-man wipe as Tyrael's trade gets the mad value and drops Arthas and Junkrat. Thrall never even completes his quest talent. He sits at 29 stacks, but he's still at 50,000 damage, even above Mephisto when it comes to the output here. And that is obviously going to be a game as we see Wind and Rain, the former Team Cheese, take the victory in Volskaya Foundry and therefore the lead in the best of 5 series here at the Division S. GG and well played. Game number 2, Wind and Rain is in the lead, everybody, as they got that insane Tyrael explosion at the end of game number 1 with a double kill and then went straight for the core. Go Next, of course, has to try and switch things up a little bit. It's actually the map choice of Wind and Rain here, as Go Next has first pick and first ban, if I'm not mistaken. So Wind and... ooh, yeah, okay. So Wind and Rain wants to brawl a little bit more here on Battlefield of Eternity. Already a little bit hyped to see what exactly we're going to see in terms of adjustments here. Battlefield, we've had actually some really interesting matches recently. I actually started casting a couple of the Division 1 games again, and some of them are honestly nuts. I thought that I'm seeing some Fiesta games in Division 7, but the heroes that were picked in Division 1 with a pretty decent level of play, actually. I mean, former Master and Grandmaster, Storm League, of course, just shifted everything around now so that nobody really knows what's happening at this point. But yeah, so decent level of play. And we've seen the most interesting picks. Teams are experimenting a lot more, it seems, these days. Division S, I would still expect this to be more meta-oriented than anything else, though. We have already Tracer banned out. Here comes the Hanzo ban, too. Obviously, on the map now, other heroes that you're still looking to... I mean, honestly, for Wind and Rain, I could, even in the later stages of the draft, depending on bans and picks, see Greymane make an appearance. They played a bit of Greymane already recently, so that would be one thing they could play. Not as an early pick, but still. We're obviously looking at Tyrande again. Maiev and Zeratul are also both still up and could be taken, so that mixes things slightly. With Wind and Rain, you never really know what they're gonna go for next, so don't want to venture out too far there. I would still expect Maiev to be banned out, or at least to be a likely ban for this one. But instead it's Hammer, so Maiev and Zeratul are both available for this one. Still Tyrande as a potential first pick on the other hand. Battlefield of Eternity with the added value that you get there. But that's the little malheur that Go Next now finds themselves in. Do you go Maiev? Do you go Tyrande? And they go Maiev. They go Maiev. It's Fan of Knives time. It's Warden time. There's Liming and there's Malfurion. Make on Liming, very likely again. And Liming, obviously fantastic hero for this setup. But now we're also seeing Diablo. Yeah. Are we going to see that Tyrande pick? A bit hesitant on this one. I mean, you kind of want to combo something with Dibbles, right? And okay, they're going for Reyna. I would assume that we're going to see Tyrande even banned out now. Yeah, Tyrande would be a pretty decent ban for them. I mean, you can always ban Ana if you feel that your opponent is going into a setup where they get a lot of damage out with, let's say, Jaina, for example, but Tyrande adds the extra damage against the Immortal, so Tyrande gets banned out here. On the other hand, the insta-ban against Garrosh once again, so apparently they had already bad memories going up against Berghuld's Garrosh. Now, we talked about it earlier, Berghuld usually either on Tyrael, Garrosh, or on Johanna, so as in game number 1, Tyrael is still open, and they could play with Tyrael. They could also now make the move into Johanna this time. and try and make that play. And we'll see if that's going to work out for them. So, let's see, next two picks. Both Tyrael again, and they go for Arthurs in the off lane. Max Passion this time with Arthurs. Could totally have seen him go into Thrall again. I mean, Thrall had a pretty big impact in the last game. But if you have Tyrael, you want to have something a little bit more hit point heavy on your side. Last two picks now for Go Next. Again, as we're talking about the off lane here. Also the damage, to be honest. I mean... no, I think that's still fine with this. Yeah, okay, so we have Rhaegar taken, and we see Thrall this time on their end. So we have on the offlaner a bit of additional damage that he can push out. We're still needing one additional damage dealer for Wind and Rain, though. And let's see what exactly they're gonna play here. With Skog going for the last pick. Auto attacker usually is what you're gonna see here in most of the cases, trying to get a bit of reliable damage through. Still see Greymane with Tyrael in particular. Could make that play here. And they're going for Cassia. Fair enough, Cassia it is. Get a couple of blinds in and trying to make that play. Battlefield of Eternity. Game number 2 in the best of 5 series here at Division S, with Wind and Rain currently having the lead in the series, going up against Go Next. Game number 2, Battlefield of Eternity, Wind and Rain in the lead. And on the left side we have Macke on Liming, Backhold on Tyrael, Skog on Cassia, Gulnagulan on Malfurion, and Max Passion on Arthurs. On the right side of the map, Wit on Diablo, Kelvin on Maiev. For Go Next, we're seeing Savas on Reyna, Taluf on Thrall, and Skynox is playing Rhaegar in this game. Okay, so bot lane, that's where we have our 4-man setup again. All eyes on Maiev for this one. We'll see what exactly they can pull off with her. That's a level 1 talent choice for Maiev. We're seeing here with Naisha's Memento here again. Ace in the hole for Jimmy. Wants to capitalize, of course, on all of the slows here. Wolf Run for Rhaegar, a little bit faster. And this should be a pretty decent game here. I'm already liking that we're having Cassia in the setup. I like that Maiev made it through for once. Cassia not going into the more traditional Lightning Fury build these days. Instead, we're having a Charged Strike build. Still absolutely valuable. And also a viable build, but we are mostly seeing Lightning Fury regardless these days. But Skog with a bit of a different approach for this one. Also, trait value on the side of Arthur's up at the top, so he's currently trying to get the stacks together here on his trade and get that extra damage in on the auto attacks. That's going to be interesting for sure. Not going into the Howling Blast quest. 3 stacks instead already, so that extra damage that he's going to get eventually. That was a nice wall stun on the other hand. Good tether as the follow-up, and Cassia is actually starting to drop really low here, but still in play. Thanks to Gulnagulan and Malfurion, they're keeping her in play. This is a bit of an explosive bot lane that we have here. Definitely starting to get really feisty around this one, but I'm loving these engages that we're seeing from with the Kelvin Maiev follow-up that currently happens here. Alright. Okay, so top lane, 5 stacks by now, 4 Arthurs. Combos coming through at the bottom, and the pressure's definitely on from Wind and Rain. We're starting to get the first damaging against the towers, but they engage again from Diablo. This time cut short though, and Wit goes down. The tether into turret range, still delivering a bit of extra damage, but with Dibbles already dead, this is again Wind and Rain just taking the initiative here. And Macke on Liming, that's always a problem. I mean, again, he is fantastic on the Tracer. It's the reason why Tracer is banned out every single game here right now. But his Liming is also extremely solid. And it's one of those plays that the opponent, of course, has seen coming a few times now. Once that you have the Calamity, we're going to have a lot of potential pressure from Macke here with this entire setup. And his Whack-A-Mole, his hero's Whack-A-Mole is pretty strong. Hasn't taken his 4 yet. Normally would expect Dominance here from him. Hasn't made the choice yet. And yep, there it is. Dominance taken for Liming. Helps a lot with Calamity and being aggressive. And after Naisha's Memento, we're now also seeing the Blade Dance being used for Maiev. We're having at the same time the Frostwolf pack for Thrall, and Arthur's actually goes down as Kelvin rotated topside. Taluf now able to get the kill together with Maiev here. So at least we're seeing Go Next set a kill up for themselves. We're also seeing them grabbing the camp just in time, thanks to Rhaegar and the extra wave clear and camp clear that he obviously has. Now Thrall still back to 0 stacks on his Frostwolf pack on level 4. Couldn't get anything done there, but they're getting the lead now on this one. Alright, Go Next starting to fight back into this for sure. Stacking process is still going to be pretty important. Arthas himself, by the way, sitting at 8, so 2 away from completing at least the quest. But obviously, it's going to stack way past that. With both of the Shaman camps taken, both teams are now trying to defend. Again, the jump coming in from Maiev, but it's simply not enough. Maiev down, Diablo is up for the picking, and he's eliminated too. Another double kill comes in as Wind and Rain is pushing this back in deep. Especially now, of course, with that Shaman still kept alive. The flank from the side as we're seeing Max Passion make the play for Rhaegar. Good Howling Blast, but the dog is still able to move out. I always knew that Marco was a dog person. Let him survive on purpose here. Definitely not a cat person. That's Thrall down, and that means that the stacks that he acquired so far are gone too. So yeah, again, with the first fort already down, they're still making the play now for the Immortals. First Immortal has still not been taken, so yeah, starting to make the way in. The early level 7 helps them, of course. That gives us also Calamity for Mark in a moment, and that's going to be great for him in these fights. Going to get the extra value. But at least the red team rotated in and started to drop a lot of those HP. And were so far able to prevent the worst. And if they are rushing this one here, they might be able to win it. Probably not quite. But they're still able to just reduce that shield to a minimum amount, and that alone is already worth a lot. They still don't have level 7, which is another really big issue, of course, for them. Finally it comes in, but they're still that half level behind. Arthas with 40 extra damage now on those attacks as he continues to stack his level 1. Stacking process for Diablo, by the way, is not going that well yet. 46 right now for Wit. Also waiting for the level 7 to be chosen. Ancestral Wrath for Thrall, at least they're able to burn down the hero like Arthas a little bit more aggressively during these fights, thanks to that. And the same goes for the Immortal. They need to burn that bad boy down as quickly as they can so that they don't lose a second fort. There's no level 10 threat yet from Wind and Rain, so that's at least something. Lockdown against Dibbles, but only against him. Kelvin barely comes out here. Jumps in again, gets the tether, but needs to be careful and drops as Marke is getting the resets. 1, 2, make it 3. Marke putting on the light show here, and they're taking down fort number 2 as well. 7 kills against 1 right now as Wind and Rain is absolutely murdering their opponent. Max Passion even getting the camp at the bottom of the map now. Still 0 stacks for Thrall, and talking camps, topside, similar picture. Li Ming even rotating down just in case that Thrall gets a little bit too cheeky and starts to move in for that. But Marco obviously having a good day right now. Resets, resets, resets. Not the top damage dealer in the game though. That's currently still Cassia with 19,000. Topside camp starting to push in. Level 10 abilities are now ready too. Another big issue. Marco already trying to see if he can maybe get something done at the side. Yeah, here comes the Howling Blast. That one connects. Damage against Taluf. And the kill. Nicely done here once again. Calamity delivers, and then the rest of the damage comes in too. A Valkyrie, by the way, from Cassian. They're trying to look for another kill, breaking through the wall at the bottom of the map already. Absolute brutal setup here. Yeah, they're starting to burn through that wall. Level 10 abilities are in here, and they break the wall down. And with level 10 and already a camp and a catapult pushing bot side, they could even try to siege up to get a bit of damage onto the keep itself. But they're starting to steal this one away instead. Also, level 7 for Arthas with the Immortal Coil, no Icebound Fortitude. Isn't really afraid of anything here yet. And to be honest, looking at that lineup by Woody, I mean, there's no Jaina on the other side. There's not really that massive burst damage that you oftentimes see drop. We had a few talent adjustments earlier just in general. I mean, after we've seen now the Feast on Fear, Dibbles went into the Souls to the Flame, and also the Malavenston on level 7. Still waiting for his stacks to be completely done here. Still doesn't have 100, he's still sitting at 77. Arthas is also having a tough time stacking his level 1. Normally you see that quite a bit higher, but because we had so few fights since Wind and Rain took such a massive lead already, he only has 11 stacks. That's still 44 extra damage on the auto attacks after the trade activates. But they're going for another objective. Now it's time for level 10s though, and this is really the time where the Go Next has to fight. I mean, they need to pull something now. Okay, here comes the containment disc. They're going for the play against Arthas again, trying to make the play. Yeah, Dibbles with the APOC. Barely moving out there as the Ancestral hits him. But we're having the big attack coming through once again. That's starting to chase them, and already Maiev is looking low, trying to escape here. First victim is Thrall. No luck for him when it comes to his level 4 quest either. And Maka is just getting Reset City. Reset City, population 1. Maka. One after another, and Shimei is just murdering them. Maka definitely the mayor of Reset City. And that's 100% immortal. That is 100% immortal that is going to move through the top lane now. And in addition to that, we're going to see them with a level 13 talent advantage. Have fun with that. That is going to hurt a lot. We have 12 kills against 1 already. I mean, it's already insane. But now we are going to have an absolute brutal setup here. Barreling through the top, and the only question that we have at this point is how much damage can you get? Can you actually go core here? If they get another wipe, they get another couple of kills, and they have a chance. Yep, that's the first one, delivered by the Valkyrie. Nice follow-up by Arthas, nicely done. And here comes Maka and Cassia, 2 kills in already. Maka, he wants Zavas, and he's going to get him eventually. Down he goes, that's 2 down. They're going for Dibbles, and he doesn't survive either. Even trying to break through the wall, and that should be game right here. I mean, they're absolutely brutalizing him. 16 kills against 1. It's a merciless display of skill that we're seeing from Wind and Rain here, as they're just simply going through the game, getting kill after kill. I mean, this is just stat padding at this point that we're seeing here. And the core is obviously falling. This is going to be game 100%. The Sanctification is already on the ground. They're going straight for it, and Wind and Rain takes the 2-0 lead over Go next on Battlefield of Eternity. Great display here by them. GG, and well done. Game number 2, everybody, was, let's call it Stompy. One-sided. A decisive victory. Wind and Rain just, I mean, they are just murdering their opponent right now. So Go next, they have to come up with something a little bit different, like a solution to that problem, because Wind and Rain is currently just taking them apart piece by piece. And now we're heading into Sky Temple. That's going to be our 3rd map in the series, and we have first pick, first ban on the side of Wind and Rain, which means Go Next actually chose the map. So they said, hey, we have to play on the map where we're comfortable with, and we're going to go straight in and play this one in particular. So now we're having Maiev banned out and Zeratul, a bit more of a traditional start into our draft. Question is, what is that X factor? Do you have anything here that you can really throw against Wind and Rain that might tip the scales of this particular match? Sky Temple is a map where we have seen a lot of cheese attempts in the past. I mean, the good old McDonald's strategy from Fnatic when they played with a double support Vala Chen and just ran down the bot lane, took the boss at like 6 minutes into the game or something and won the game within 10 against teams like Dignitas. That was of course absolutely insane back then. We've seen some Moro with Abathur being played here too. Dehaka as a global gets banned out, and we're having also Tracer eliminated again, so that Maka can't rely on that. Galnagunar with the instant Malfurion pick here, right away. And on the other side, what are we gonna get from Go Next? I am waiting for a slightly, like a bit of a special no to that draft right now. Because I feel at this point you just have to take a bit of a risk. If you have a strategy where you can cheese out your opponent slightly, that would be great. But let's see. There's the Li Ming and Ana. Okay, so you pick Li Ming away from Maka. He can still play as Mephisto if he wants to. There's a bunch of heroes actually. I mean, even Genji. You could play Genji here. I think the last time that I saw them on Sky Temple, he actually did play Genji. So we have Li Ming and Ana taken. So that Nana boost is going to find a very welcome target. And there is Abathur. They are the ones going for the Pajama Thor, and we have Tyrael now picked again. And Tyrael, if you have a good Tyrael player, you can actually really start to rack a backline. Stark in particular has played some fantastic Tyrael games in the recent past, especially around tournaments like Meta Madness, but also the Nut Cup. And if he gets an Abathur hat with that aggression that he shows there, then that would be insane. Now, if Backwell can perform in a similar way, that would be fantastic. Good ban on Greymane right now. I mean, that's one of the heroes that you're concerned with. Double Greymane with Tyrael enabling the push thanks to a quick sanctification can be brutal. And again, double Jaina would also fill that bill, so there's definitely a lot going on the side of Indian Rain now that they could try and combo. Go next. They have a good baseline here with Liming and Ana, but they need definitely a lot more than that. Here comes a Nuburak, okay. Are we going to see Tyrande for the stun? Is that going to be the play here? Get the Tyrande stun in and try and follow it up with a quick kill? Yeah, Tyrande, obviously they have Ana already, my bad. Ana! There's another stun with the arrow. And there we go. What are we going to have on their end? They still need damage. I mean, they still need a damage dealer now with this. And ideally one that Abathar can help out too. Just terrified of that Illidan being picked or something along those lines. Genji and Valera. Valera and Genji both taken. Told you Marco played Genji the last time on Sky Temple. He's doing the same thing again today. So now you go up against a lot of stealthies. Valera and Abathar. Oh, the burst that you're gonna get out of this. Have fun keeping your squishies alive. Have fun. This is going to be tough. How are they going to play this? They have no offlaner yet. They need still someone on that offlane. And Vikings instead. Okay, I like the Viking play. But Vikings against Abathar and Valera against Genji. I am not sure how this is going to go now. This is going to get wild, guys. We're heading into game number 3. Wind and Rain going up against Go Next on Sky Temple. Game number 3. And the draft is wild. The Vikings. It seems like they got lost a little bit too much this time. They got lost and found themselves in a draft where they don't belong to. Wind and Rain with Valera, Abathar and Genji now against the Viking composition. This could be a really strange game here. Marco on Genji, Backwell on Tyrael, Skok on Abathar, Max Passion on Valera and Galnagulna on Malfurion for the team in blue. On the right side in red we have Wit on Anubarak, Kelvin on Liming, Skynox on Ana, Servas on the Vikings, and we have Toulouf on Hanzo. So, things are gonna get dicey here. Now again, if you have a Nuburak in that setup, you might be trying to push a little bit harder. They're 4-manning the bot lane right now. Vikings are already sitting on the side. They try to go for the easy tower here. There's already a couple of beetles soaking the shots. And they get some damage in. Not really too much right now, but still working for the time being. But I am just terrified of Vikings getting wrecked all over the place just simply because of Genji, like this one here for example, and because of Valera at the top. So Marco already with the first Viking kill right there, and he's going to try and continue to pull that off throughout the entire game. The heavy pressure at the bot lane, as you would expect. I mean, you need to get the value somewhere, and they're trying to 4-man right now and get an advantage out of this. Now Valera is already sitting at the top. Servas knows exactly that as long as he doesn't have vision of certain heroes, he can't go too deep. Hanzo goes down at the bot lane now too, as Genji rotated in. And this is going to be brutal. Level 1 already. I mean, pressurized glance has been taken right now. They're trying to go for the backline again, and that is a dead Ana. Oh boy, up at the top, the damage output against Olaf. Max Passion doesn't get the kill in there, but still, Marco is in the meantime making his way over against, misses Eric. Doesn't get the kill against him. Valera, by the way, going for Vigor on level 1 here. For the extra energy there. Valera is currently in that position where she's on the solo lane, and I really don't think that Max Passion is going to be too happy about this. There's a very kill-heavy, a kill-rich environment down at the bottom of the map, and I think he would probably love to sit in the bush there and engage with the rest of the team. Once we're looking at team fights, that might be exactly what's happening, but for the time being at least, the 4-man that we're seeing for Go Next is just trying to get value. Try and take the camps, trying to roam the map, let the Vikings get some experience. But talking about experience, just look at the experience setup here. We're currently having them with 4 against 3. Ooh, Abathar with a kill against Liming. it's nuts. It's honestly starting to get really dangerous here for Go Next. They're getting already snowballed. They're level behind. They've lost 3 heroes. The sleep setup on the other hand against Maka, but not even that gives them a kill. Taluf is just jumping out there. And yeah, this is going to become nuts. I mean, honestly, Valera at some point is just going to move in and just brutalize everything here. That's already Olaf down. In the meantime, they're still sitting in the mid lane here. Seeing a Nubarak with an attempted setup against the Siege Giants at the bottom to at least push those out. But it's nuts. It's honestly a little bit nuts here. I mean, this is... I mean, desperation? I'm not quite sure what to say here, but honestly, maybe around level 10 you have a bit more of a chance. The problem is, I think Wind and Rain is already putting such a massive dent into this that recovering from the position they're in right now is going to be extremely difficult for Go Next. So maybe they're able to pull this off, but the amount of squishies that exists in that backline worries me a lot, considering that we have Abathur and Valera. And now keep in mind, we haven't even really seen a lot of Valera action. The first thing that you probably think when you see that draft is like, oh my god, Valera together with Abathur, the burst damage those two can push out is so crazy. They can obliterate the backline within seconds, but we haven't even seen that combo yet. So instead, they're making the plays with everybody else, and Maka just popping off with the support of the Abathur head here. They're trying to make the play for Wit, and Maka going in. Valera's there, there's a silence, and a kill. A noob is dead. And now we're having Max Passion still able to move away here. Blackhold a bit low, but even he escapes as they are taking the entire temple, the entire shrine in the middle. Now up to the top lane, similar picture here as they're starting to move in for this one too. The level 4 ability here with Relentless Strikes. We're having a Mutilate taken. Mutilated is aptly named because right now Wind and Rain, they are mutilating their opponent. Still need to be careful of that Li Ming on the other hand. Can't overstay too long there, or she is going to get that reset. Abathur, of course, with Mule on level 7, the only hero in the game that still has Mule. Olaf goes down as we're seeing another kill in the middle of the map. And that's not the only thing that's going to go down here. It seems like we're going to see the first fort of the game fall too. Maybe not quite. Maybe they're able to keep it. Trying to get the reset here on Eric. Li Ming in the meantime taken out, but the fort is down. As Li Ming has fallen here up at the top. So 4 down, Li Ming down, 5 kills against 0, nearly 2 levels ahead. Abathur at the bottom of the lane still soaking experience here. We're still seeing Eric in trouble too. As Backle is getting some damage in, but is already running low on mana. I get a feeling that this is honestly the biggest problem, that they have to go back this off like so many times just to tap the mana pool off again. This is currently one of the biggest issues that they have here. I honestly feel like Go Next came into the map with an idea, and it wasn't necessarily a bad one, don't get me wrong. Let's look at it from their perspective. They play 2 games and they get completely destroyed. And they say, guys, we have to change something. What we're trying to do here isn't working, so let's try and play something a bit more out of the box and go for a Viking play. And the idea behind it isn't really too bad. I mean, you have to change something up. You can't just simply continue doing what you're doing if you're getting murdered there. So they decide in favor of a Viking draft. The problem is that Wind and Rain... Oh my god, Judgment. Oh, Anna is dead. Now the problem is simply that Wind and Rain is already doing everything that they can to play an anti-Viking draft there with so many heroes that can chase them down. And then Go Next just feels obligated. They feel they have no other choice but going through with the original draft idea. And obviously the result is, as you can see here, not pretty. So it is a tough sell either way. Go Next is just in a really bad spot now. But I can't really fault them for trying something different. Again, given the draft, could you have saved it with something else? I'm not sure. They tried to still play it around that. Said, okay, we have to try something else here. Currently it's not working out for them. Wind and Rain is just destroying this. 8 kills against 0, 2 levels ahead, around level 10 abilities obviously, and it is a little bit monka. I'm personally offended, by the way, that Abathur didn't go into Monty the Monstrosity. Just want to put that out here real quickly. That personally offends me greatly, and I'm already thinking about starting a Twitter outrage campaign against Abathur. I think that was not a cool thing to do here. for everybody who identifies as a monstrosity player. That has been a big insult. But at the same time, we got Judgment, so I feel like it's still a bit of a trade there. Talking trades, yep, that's a kill. Nice. Good arrow from Hanzo. Well done here. And Make goes down, reported for feeding. 8 kills against 1. Cocoon against Valera. And Max Passion is able to move away, as at the bot lane, Backhold is chasing, or trying to chase, the Vikings. But we have the ult already being used, and that saves them for now here. Of course, we were looking at the objective itself. That's a different story. That's what we're currently seeing. Khaldor move away with under 100 hit points. But it's a bit more of an aggressive setup for Wind and Rain right now. They're starting to move straight in with the aggression here to invade a few of the camps. And this one is likely gonna be claimed. And yep, indeed it is. Taluf jumped out with 20 HP, but the blade. Genji with a slice and a Dyson. Jumping in, even the double Genji, as if one Genji wasn't bad enough. Now having a triple kill against them, and they're going for the quad at this point. Yep, here comes the judgment, and a noob got judged, and a noob got killed. Eric is also falling, and that's now 12 kills against 1. 8 minutes and 40 seconds in. And that top pressure is still doing a bit of work. Structural position, of course, fantastic for Wind and Rain. Now, they are still ahead here. Mule got seen drop, but isn't going to find anything of value right here. Mule is just sitting in the corner like, nah, maybe not today. They're getting a bit of a freebie. But yeah, Max Passion is already starting to push that out. Talking about also damage output, let's have a quick look at what exactly we've seen here so far. 20,000 from Genji. Camp's taken again, Backhold. A lot of toxic nests at the same time though. Have to be careful around that. There's a lot of pillows on the ground here too, just saying. But they're starting to go straight in with the arrow again. Cocoon is on the ground as they're trying to make the play here. No chance of that happening just yet. Map is starting to open up a little bit, so the Vikings have a bit more room. The problem is that the rest of the team is in trouble down at the bottom. And Uburak is dead once more, the front line focused. 2 seconds until the ult on Tyrael is back up. And Valera even able to drop Olaf. Bot lane experience is also going to be secured by the team in blue. Wind and Rain taking a massive 2-level lead at this point. Abathar still soaking topside. Well, at least we're having 13 talents ready for Go Next. The problem is, can they really force a fight around that, and do they really want to? I mean, they have jump now for the Vikings. Of course, when you have large and in charge on level 16, that's usually when the Vikings are a bit more tempted to join the team fights and try and get the stuns against the backline. It's one of those interesting things where, just in theory, Li Ming, for example, is an amazing hero against the Vikings. And if you have a bad Viking player, it's definitely true. But once you have level 16, a good Viking player will actually really wreck Li Ming in those backlines because of large and in charge and the quick damage burst potential that you have against such a squishy hero. So you need, of course, to work really well around your jump to make sure that Li Ming doesn't get the resets. But we've seen that multiple times in the past, that particular dynamic. Make here, for now, is not able to get the kill, but still. It's a trade in temples, as the one at the top is easily taken by Max Passion, but down to the bottom of the map we have a massive commitment from Go Next. 16 is on the map, 16 on the board already. And with that, we're now also seeing Seal Fate. It seems a little bit like the fate of Go Next is sealed, but they're trying to come back into this. Not so much around kills. Talking kills. Balog is going down in the middle as Muck is pushing that out. Eric is starting to take over, but at the bottom they're at least able to take one of the forts down. So structural position is starting to improve a little bit for Go Next. Problematic, obviously, that Wind and Rain is still doing a bit better with that. And now the collapse. Look them at the minimap. They're already trying to move in from this. Uh-oh, from all sides. There's Valera. Valera? Alright, pops the ult, tries to get the damage in, tries to go for Hanzo, but gets hit by the sleeping guard. 14 kills against 1. Boss hasn't even been taken yet, but I think that's on the menu. It's probably going to be taken soon, and they're already starting to look right at it now. Yeah, nicely done. 16 advantage, 2 levels ahead. Obviously, that's a fantastic choice to make right now. You already have a bit of vision over your opponent in the meantime. Could even see Abathar now actually harping back as they were thinking that maybe there's a rotation towards him. But the slug alert, his sluggy senses were already tingling. No slug abuse in this game. Last time we had Abathar, he actually got taken out once. So yeah. Now we're having the boss moving through the bot lane and the Siege Giant camp. So, yep, Catapult is already starting to move in too. And that starts to get a little bit dicey. And Nubarak, pathing back, and it's just like, okay, what's he doing? He trying to get the little slugger, but not quite working out now. 2-0 so far in the series. Go Next needs to try and fight back in this, but so far they haven't really done that. They won 16, they're gonna get it soon, but the Vikings are now pushing the lanes up to the top. They're currently having Balog doing his thing, and he will deliver the next talent into their hands in the moment. Here comes already the aggression with the double Genji into the backline, but the first keep of the game is likely to fall with this massive wave here building up to and dropping it even quicker. The structure is falling. Topside value for Balog as he's at least able to escort one Bruiser camp into that setup. Nice escape by Taluf. Close call too, but they can't go core yet. They can't go for the core just yet. They're still trying to force a bit of a fight. Nubarak going in. Drops the cocoon as well. Arrow comes in too, hitting actually Genji here. But the kill against Li Ming. The attempt to go in for a kill with Calamity and getting the reset, but that didn't work out, and now it's slice and dice time. Once again, Hanzo down, judgment. Ana has been judged, and she has found to be not worthy. Nubarak dies too, and so does the fort, the keep at the top lane. Problem is that the same is happening to the core at the bottom of the map. And yep, the Vikings alone won't be able to raise that down. Looks like we're gonna have a 3-0 as Wind and Rain obliterates Go Next in game number 3 and takes the 3-0 in the series to claim the victory in the best of 5 here Division S. GG, well played.